All right. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be doing the connecting to the Arduino steps. And I have officially decided that this will not be my last video, even though I thought it was going to be, because I think it'll make more sense. So basically, what we're doing today is connecting these bad boys and connecting the battery, even though I don't have a battery in there, and our dust sensor. But as you can see, those four little pieces do not come together. They don't just look like this automatically. It kind of takes some construction and finagling. So I'm going to have another construction video, and I'm going to have a video on how to use this sensor and how to kind of interpret the data and different things you can do with it. Just because I feel like that's a little bit more practical than just having these four little pieces just kind of held together by wires, even though it does hold together surprisingly well. Okay, so anywho, let's go ahead and get started. Now, as you will recall, sorry, my wiring got a little jostled, so I need to kind of fix it really quick. Ooh. Okay, I'll probably cut that out later. As you recall, we have our bread boxes and we have our wires plugged in, and this puppy is good to go for now. All right, so next up we are going to be using the dust sensor, the backbone of this project. And as you will see, this has a little port on the end of it. There are four little tabs here, but you can kind of tell from the side that there are not wires in all four tabs, which makes sense because there are only 3 wires. So when we plug in our wires, we want to plug them into the pegs that connect to other wires. It'll make more sense when you see it, I promise. That's the best I can explain for now. So to do that, we have our 3 short wires, and this is the step we are going to do first. Take one of your wires. Color is immaterial. These are my short wire. I'm using short wires. So go right on ahead and plug it into the peg connecting to the yellow wire. Now, obviously, I like to use some type of color that vaguely resembles yellow because it just helps me keep track, but that's not always possible with what we have available. So today I'm using orange. Come on. Now this is kind of being a pain to plug in right now. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, it's in there pretty securely, but I would like it to go in a bit more. Okay, well, maybe I'll try to learn it. I don't know why this would work better, but okay, wow, it worked better. Cool. So just like that. And like I said, with the wires, you want them to connect. That's what I meant. You want to plug it into one of these pegs that houses another wire already. 1 down, 2 to go. Another wire, color and material. You're going to plug it into the next available square. So as you can see, the insulator on my wire, this black rubber part, is kind of coming off a little bit because I've been messing with this wire a lot. And if it does that, it's fine. Just kind of slide it back on and make sure you don't touch the metal while you're plugging stuff in, but it's not really gonna, we don't have a battery connected. This is why we don't have a battery connected right now, just in case stuff like that happens. Last wire, again, color and material. I'm gonna go into the peg and plug it in once more. Same procedure. And it's not as secure as I'd like it to be. Sometimes you kind of have to use a little bit of brute force on these wires. I wonder if this will do the same thing that the orange wire did. Sorry, I have to kind of put it down for a second to really get it to work out. Okay, well, there you have it. We have our 3 wires plugged in securely, and we're gonna move on to the next step. So now we have our Arduino, which we talked about in the last video, and hopefully you've already programmed this, or it is already programmed for you. This one is not programmed at all, so when I plug in the battery, nothing is going to happen. It won't even turn on because I don't even have enough battery in here. This is all for demonstration purposes today, just because I mentioned in the last video, I lost one of my cables, and I would like to get these recorded though, because anyways, because time management is always a factor in my life. So nothing's gonna happen with this Arduino, long story short, because there's no battery in here and this Arduino knows nothing. We have not programmed it. Okay. So let's start with the breadbox. That's easy enough. Recall, we have our wires plugged into the A column, and they are in the 3, 15, and 28 slots. We want to make sure once again that our resistors aren't touching LEDs. I just checked that right now. We're good to go. And we have our long wire. So I will refer to them as such. And I'm actually going to tilt this down a little bit, like I did in the building video, in the breadboxing video, I guess. So you can sort of see what I'm doing here. Neat. So we have our LEDs, and this wire that is plugged into A28 is going to go into this little peg on the Arduino labeled 3. So there's actually a little squiggly by the 3, but we'll just say 3 because there's only one 3 on this. Okay, good. That's in there securely. There we go. Next one is going to go into 4. Now this wire is plugged into A15 on this side and 4 on this side. Last one, this is going to be plugged into 5. It's plugged into A3 on the breadbox, and it's going into 5 on the Arduino. Now, there we go. That's a little bit better. Our long wire is going to be plugged into this box here labeled G and D. Now, what is G and D? That means ground. And for those of you who have maybe jump-started a car or done something fun like that, you will have maybe a familiarity with the term ground. It's used in electrical circuits and so forth. And it's basically just a connection to a conductor or metal. So that's what we've got here. Cool. I just want to make sure this is plugged in properly because it doesn't really feel like it is. I don't know what happened to my circuit. I put it in a box, and I think maybe my cat got to it or something because it's kind of got a little messed up. Anyways, this is what you will now have. Okay. PM sensor, next up. Right, so we have our 3 fun little wires, and I'm going to just double check off here to the side before I start wildly plugging stuff in. Okay, this orange wire, or whatever color that you have connected to the yellow wire, is going to plug into this little peg labeled 8. And if you recall from our code, that's where we defined the PM sensor to be, so that's kind of a cool little connection there. This is going to be plugged into a little square that is labeled 5V. And this wire is connected to my red wire. So whatever color you have connected to your red wire, 5V is actually on this side. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in there. Last but not least, the wire that you have connected to your black wire is going to be plugged into ground, or GND. And why did I choose? So I guess a little note here on the Arduino. We have 3 total spots that are labeled G and D or ground. Why did I choose the ones that I did? Well, I feel like it's pretty clear with this one because it's the closest. And this one I chose because it is next to that little 5V wire, and it just helps me keep track a little bit easier. And it makes sense because when you have your battery to plug in, you're going to plug the red wire of the battery Now, no, I don't have a battery in here. There's no battery that I'm actually connecting, but when you do plug in your battery, you're plugging the red wire into this little spot labeled VIN, and the black wire is going to go into the final tag labeled ground or GND. And if you look from the side, that is a lot of, oops, this guy kind of came out. That is a lot of wires that are really close together. And it helps to kind of group them into these little pairs because it just helps you keep track. Now, note, your battery wires will not look like this if I assembled your kit, because I did something called, I stripped the wire of the insulator using a special little tool that I have here, which you've probably seen something like, and I put some electrical tape on it to make sort of a makeshift plug, and then that way it plugs into your sensor a little bit easier, because I had a rough time with these little guys. As you can see, like, look at that, there's almost no wire for you to plug in, as compared to like this wire, there's like a lot there. Anyways, I digress. Let me replug those back in, and so you can get one more look at what your sensor needs to look like for you to proceed. Bam, there we go. Aerial view. Double check and triple check everything before you plug in your battery, just for safety, general safety, and make sure it works. And our battery. Another note on the battery, which is probably something you will all figure out, I should hope, if you're able to build the sensor. There's an on switch, so you have to flick that to on before you use it and turn it off. I recommend you keep it off while you're plugging everything in, though, just to make sure nothing happens to you or your equipment. And I guess maybe my last note on this part of the process would be on the battery pack itself. It is a super pain. It's really, okay, right now, it's really easy because you just slide up to get it off, and you have where you put your battery, and you slide back down just like your TV remote. But on this other guy that I have over here, let me pull it out for you. There's actually a battery in here, even though it's off, there's a battery in this one. It is like really, it is like impossible to get this thing off. I cannot get this battery cover off. You might have to use like a screwdriver or something, because I really have had a hard time with this. So that being said, wait to put in your battery until you're absolutely ready to do it, and make sure your battery is like facing the right way, I guess, before you do that. Okay, I will see you next time on our last and final video, constructing and using the sensor.